Man, just first of all, just so proud of our guys. What a hard-fought win that was, and I knew it was going to be that way. I mean, NC State's a really good football team. I know they're dealing with some injuries, but really good on defense, and knew it was going to be a blue-collar type game. Beating and banging. I first started that game, I was like, I don't know if anybody's going to score in this game. Of course, it's cold, the wind's blowing. That type of weather you would expect maybe, this time of year. It took a total team effort to go win like we did tonight. And offense, defense, and kicking game, all three did some really, really good things. We can start with the kicking game. I mean, JT kicking field goals, phenomenal tonight in that wind. Did an outstanding job and has done that all year. Really, really have a lot of confidence in him and what he's doing. Our punt, Mark Vassett, our punter, did some great things tonight, even including punting the ball left-footed one time tonight, and pinning those guys inside the 10. I mean, that 5-yard line, we were pinning them inside the 23 times tonight. That was tremendous in a game like this, defensive battle, and of course Jordan with the big-time kickoff return for a touchdown, and then offensively, I think we knew I was going against a great defense who shuts the run game down. And our backs ran hard tonight, our offensive line, tight ends. They did a great job blocking on the perimeter to end up having a guy get over 100 yards, Jordan 105 yards. Maurice Turner did a great job tonight. He ended up getting 59. Brock had a couple runs where he pulled and get a first down. I mean, so just the run game, I thought, it's hard-fought yards, and they did a really, really good job with that. It was hard to throw the ball. I think both teams struggled with that, with the wind that we had. But I think Brock's one of his best throws was on the third down. We hit T. Huddy on the slant. He breaks the tackle, goes inside the 10. Huge. Ended up scoring on that drive right there. So, and then defensively, our guys did a great job. You didn't know which quarterback was going to play, and they ended up going both. And so it's completely different game plans for both of those guys because one's a runner, one's a thrower. And so you got to be able to be flexible in your calls. We were able to get some pressure tonight. I don't know how many sacks we ended up getting, 5 sacks. I mean, so great job getting in the backfield, getting pressure. And there were other times he had to throw the ball early because we're getting back there. And we didn't give up the big play again. I mean, that's the key. And that's why, all three phases did a great job and get a complete game like that. I'm really proud of our seniors, the guys that played their last game, to send them off on a high note like this. They'll remember it forever. Still remember my game back in '95, my last game. It was a long time ago. I mean, they'll remember this game forever. And so I wanted it to be a good memory, and it was. And particularly those guys that stuck around for 6 years. Man, they've been through so much. We talked about that this week. Coaching transition, we come in and we win 8 games, win a big bowl game, and then COVID hits, and then it's awful for 2 years, and then the battle back this year. And particularly this year, how, you think about after the BC game, we're dead in the water, and then all of a sudden now we've won 5 out of the last 6. And that's a credit to those seniors, those guys that have been here. I mean, they did a phenomenal job to continue to stay the course. And I'm really proud of them. I'm proud of our coaching staff. Our coaches have done an outstanding job to continue to fight every single day and to continue to get better every week. And to go out and beat another ranked team, I think it says a lot about our guys and what we've been able to accomplish this year. Again, we're sitting here. We got 1 game left with a chance to win 8. So it's been a really good year for our guys.
Yes, Scott, can you talk about Jordan? How big is that to have a guy where, he can score on special teams, he can score on offense, just kind of put him anywhere, and it seems like he produces.
Yeah, what's awesome about him, too, he doesn't say anything. He just comes to work every single day, works his tail off, and when he gets an opportunity, a chance, he tries to make the most of it. For a smaller back, he runs as hard as anybody I've really been around for his size. He's not the 210, 215-pound back. I mean, and he still sticks it up in there and tries to maneuver and get yards. We've known what he can do in the return game. He had a big return in the bowl game last year. We hadn't had many opportunities this year for returns. I mean, even that one was kind of weird. The ball bounces, it gets by him. And a lot of times when that happens, guys get out of their lanes when they're running. And then he picks it up and he runs, and all of a sudden there's nobody there. He's got to make the kicker miss. And he did it. He's got a lot of speed. But he's a tough football player, and he made some good catches tonight. Had a big first down on a 3rd and 10. on a catch, and then also some big-time runs. He's a big-time ball player.
Scott, State had given up 66 yards rushing total in the last 3 games. What was it that you guys saw on film that made you think you guys would have the night you had tonight?
Man, I didn't know if we were going to have that kind of night. You watch the film, it's like, oh, we're playing the 85 Bears out here when it comes to run game. They just did it. They do a great job. I mean, they're 3D linemen. They occupy the O-line, and those linebackers really just run. And number 10 is a safety. I mean, he just flies down. They're a great run-stopping defense. So we were trying to get in some unbalance tonight. We did some things with our tackles and moved them over tonight that was a little bit different. We hadn't really shown that all year. And then we knew our tight ends had to block great on the perimeter. And then our backs ran hard. We broke some tackles out on the corner perimeter to be able to get some yards there. We were fortunate enough to keep the game intact like it was, to be able to continue to run the ball, even though maybe sometimes we wasn't getting any yards. You just got to be patient with it, and then every now and again you'll pop one. And we were able to do that. And so, some of that credit goes to our defense to be able to hold them like that, and then so we can stay patient. But I think more than anything, it was the unbalanced stuff that we did, and then, just guys giving great effort.
When did you know Malik was not be able to play, and what are the chances he'll be able to play next week?
Yeah, I'd say probably middle of the week. We were trying to hold out. Maybe he gets better. He got better as the week went on. But just didn't get enough practice time in last week. We felt great about it. We felt Brock maybe gave us the best chance to win the game. Brock came out and did played well. I mean, Brock's 2-0 as a starter. He runs the operation. He runs our offense, and we'll see where Malik's at. I mean, I'm hopeful that he'll be able to play next week. He's gotten better as the week's going on, so we'll see where he's at. I mean, we take it day by day, really, with all our injured guys, and to see where they're at, whether or not they can go out and play.
Obviously, next week this is a big rivalry game. You coached in 2 of those. Since being here, I guess, what have you learned about just what that game means to this community and people in the area and really in this state?
Yeah, no, it's huge. I mean, it's a huge game. I mean, there's no other thing to say other than that. We're in the state of Kentucky, and and there's a lot of people running around this state that bleed that color, blue, and and there's people in this city that bleed that color blue, and so we represent all the people that bleed red, and in Cardinal Nation, and so there's a lot of things that go into that game. They're a good football team. They got a great program. Coach Stoops has done an outstanding job since he's been there for ever how long. He's been there for a while now. We know what they got. They got a great defense. They do an unbelievable job on defense. And then, offensively, this year hadn't been a great year for them on offense, but, if they play great defense, they don't have to be great on offense. They can still be just solid and be good. So, I haven't personally watched any film on them. I know we broke them down this summer. And our QCs and analysts and GAs have watched film on them, but it's a big week. We'll celebrate this one tonight, and then we'll come back in tomorrow and we'll get ready for them for next week. All right, thanks, guys.